Hi there, it's the second Saturday of April. Now, I do think April may be my favourite month, and here are some clouds reflected in our pond. Just for orientation, here are some of our plum trees, the last surviving plum trees. There's the hedge, that's a neglected old beehive. There are some wild bees in there, we leave them alone. It's the hedge, and this is the oval spinney. I'm not going to walk through here, but there are some Norway spruce here, some larch, some chestnuts which I grew from seed. That's another story. And this video is just a little look at my my so-called writer's cabin, although I haven't done any writing in it yet. It's often the way it goes. And people have asked me to take a look at the writer's cabin, so I'll briefly do that. This is a pond. We haven't got any amphibians in it yet. We basically put this here for wildlife. It's a very good population of various insects have built up, particularly.
Birds are using it.
Yeah.
I've seen the little toads this year, but not near the pond, right up the top end
Yeah.
of Richard.
We don't know why.
It's not to their liking at the moment, anyway. Maybe it will change.
Walking past the willows. Pear blossom's been lovely this year. This is our so-called peace orchard. Not quite sure why I call it that. It came to me one day, which is basically Perry pears in a wildflower meadow. Those Perry pears will get a lot better. This is Josephine de Malines, I think. It's always at Winter Nellis. I think it's Winter Nellis. Doesn't matter. Anyway, here's the. I'm going to hand the camera to Julia now. Again, just for orientation. That's my little vegetable area. Beyond that is the apple store on the horizon. The tall poplars, variety Populus robusta, that we grew. And here's the writer's cabin. I'm not going to say what this cost, but it was a significant amount of money. I could have got it cheaper if I had done a lot of work myself, but I'm an old man with a bad back and a reasonable amount of money. Put it this way, for what this cost me, Julia and I could have had a holiday in New Zealand for 6 weeks. Anyway, so here we go. It is locked, but I leave the key in here. I can't stop a thief coming out here and breaking in. I hope that doesn't happen. I haven't got anything in here which is irreplaceable if it was stolen. So somebody's going to steal this stuff. Well, they shouldn't, and I hope they won't. But, I'd rather they didn't smash their way in. Okay. So here we are. And the first thing I notice is it's warm in here. It's nice and warm. It's an April day. It's reasonably cool. Got a thermometer up here. It's 18 centigrade in here, so I can take my coat off. Anyway, it's a reasonably spacious cabin. What have we got over here? Yeah, this is a structure I made. Now, we have very strict laws in Britain about all sorts of things, and I'm not supposed to sleep out here. Oh, I've just seen a queen wasp, and I must deal with that before I do anything else. One less queen wasp. Okay, you really don't want queen. It really is worth taking the effort to kill queen wasps at this time of year, because if you're not careful, they'll make a nest, and you don't want that to happen. Anyway, so this is I've made this. This is a settee. People can sit on this, but you know, if I was out here and I fell asleep, for example, well, here you go. But the people who put this up for me were very keen on stressing that I'd have to sign a declaration to this extent. I wasn't going to use this place as residential, because there's laws against that in my country. Anyway, putting that to one side. Chest of drawers here. Here are some drinks, mainly soft drinks. Here's some chairs. There's a table which I haven't put up yet, probably don't need it. Bookcase. Here's my desk. This is where I will, in time, do some sitting and writing. Poetry book, guitar book. Odds and ends of stuff here. Some emergency rations. Bookshelf. And in Encyclopaedia Britannica, I was one of the last monks actually to be persuaded by a salesman to buy a set of the Encyclopaedia Britannica, and this is 1995-96, just before the PC revolution and internet really picked up, and I think this is one of the last sets of Britannicas that were made. It cost me in today's money probably about £2,000, but the resale value was effectively zero. I've also got a guitar out here. I've got two actually. This is a cheap Fender, not cheap Fender, it's a cheap Chinese-made Telecaster, which I've destroyed for resale by chopping it around and painting on it. And this is a Cube amplifier, Roland Electric. I can have a play out here whenever I like. I've also got a cheap acoustic guitar. I bought this very cheaply when I was in Australia recently. It was cheap enough to leave behind. The airline let me take it back out easy enough. So this is my writer's cabin. I've got 3 literary projects in my head and some writing. One of them is part 2 of my Pagan England trilogy, which is set 78 years in the future. That's a complicated story. It's a post-apocalyptic tale with a difference. Another is a story I've started writing about an old man telling stories about his fishing, his life as an angler, to his grandson as he dies of skin cancer, bringing 2 of my interests together, fishing and skin cancer. And the other one is a historical romance set during French wars of religion. I've written about 6,000 words of that. I'm going back to France this year to do a bit more research. Anyway, so this is my writer's cabin. I haven't done much writing in it yet. But as the summer goes on, I intend to. So this was finally finished round about September last year. Then I was awfully busy preparing for my sabbatical in Australia and New Zealand. Then I was out there, and I was recovering from it and sorting things out. And it was the winter, and now it's the springtime. So if you want to hand me the camera, Julia, I'll just get a kind of view. I've got a view. This is, the location for this was carefully chosen. The sun comes up over there and moves round, so I paid extra for a window on this side. It's all double glazed, basically I can sit here looking out the window, watching the sun comes round, view of the orchard, and there's quite a lot of space out here. There's enough space for a drum kit, and there's enough space basically for a 5-piece band here to rehearse using battery powered amplifiers or well, I've got a generator which I could set up outside. So hopefully I will in the future, in the days to come, sit out here doing a bit of writing, play a bit of guitar, go for a wander around the orchard, drink some cider, and spend the night here if I want to, and read books. This is the sort of book I would like to read more of. The Norse myths, wildlife in a southern country, accounted a fruit garden displayed. Is a very old version of this wonderful book by the Royal Horticultural Society. This is a novel set during the French Wars of Religion, which gives me a bit of inspiration. A shed of one's own. Verses. Alistair McGrath, C.S. Lewis student. George Herbert, Anglican minister and poet. Books about my beloved France. The Grafter's Handbook. The Oxford Book of Ballads. The Epicure's Companion by Edward and Lorna Bunyard. Lots of interesting books. What's that? Now we've got these spectacles. The Open Air by Richard Jefferies, famous English writer. Whittling, passing time by chopping wood around. 1001 Guitars to dream of playing before you die. Illustrated English social history by G.M. Trevelyan. Picked up a set of those pretty cheap in wonderful Oxfam bookshop in St Giles in Oxford, just near the what's the name of the museum in Oxford? Not the Bodleian, the other one. Oh, it'll come to me in a while. Anyway, so as people requested, this is a look around my the writer's bothy or cabin. It is supposedly a log cabin. It doesn't look like your traditional log cabin, but the key thing is that it's put together without nails. This is all